Welcome to INOvators, a series where we sit down with thought leaders in the healthcare technology space to talk about the news and trends that are impacting our industry today. Joining me today is Dr. Funke Pickering, Senior Medical Director at Inovalon. This episode is part of our mini-series where we look specifically at 2026 and what our internal thought leaders predict will be top of mind in the healthcare space. Thanks for being here today, Dr. Pickering.
Thank you for having me.
So let's get started with what do you think the top challenges are that clinicians are facing as we're heading into 2026?
I think the changes that clinicians are going to see in 2026 are going to be reminiscent of what they've had in the last few years, and that's going to be around workload burden and documentation. I think what's going to make it particularly challenging in 2026 is the changing landscape and requirements. For example, there's a shift away from how clinical documentation and encounter visits are built now, from using elements of history and physical to more medical decision making, where clinicians have to document really more elaborately details about the clinical reasoning, justification for labs. So it's a really different way of documenting that where physicians are used to. So that change and trying to align to that new requirement is a different learning curve that's going to put even more demands on those documentation and administrative tasks. And another example there is with the changes around telehealth visits. Coming in 2026, a lot of the flexibilities that we had with telehealth visits is going to revert back to pre-pandemic requirements, except for behavioral health visits, right? So now there are a lot more limitations with telehealth visits. Physicians would have to document, patient location and verify that the location and site of origin qualifies for that visit. So again, considering what physicians have to do with a day-to-day practice, they also have to keep in mind those changes that's going to have them also change the documentation, and that adds more burden and challenges in what we're going to be facing in 2026.
How would you say that data technology and, of course, what everybody's talking about, AI, are going to be able to help clinical teams and the patients that they serve?
I think with AI, it's everywhere, and everybody is looking to AI to make things better. We're seeing the adoption of ambient AI scribes now, almost commonplace now in physician offices. And so I think physicians are beginning to understand the benefits of AI and just trying to make administrative tasks better. And I think there's going to be more of interest in seeing how much more even the day-to-day activities can be kind of simplified using AI tools. I think where AI is going to be really instrumental is democratizing how we understand and look at our data, and how physicians and clinical teams are able to understand their patients that they're treating and be able to glean more insights using AI more quickly and more, informatively, using the tools that they can to be more proactive in caring for their patients, really from the individual patients to even population level.
And what about on the research side? Are there any exciting studies or recent findings that have caught your attention recently?
I think what I'm most excited to hear about and see what is called digital twins, where with AI modeling now, we can come away from trial and error, and you can basically model a patient, taking in their history, their unique lifestyle, their own labs and health records and history, and model really out what an intervention would look like them, and kind of project more informatively how interventions and medications will benefit or maybe may not work for that individual patient. So that, I think, is very exciting, to be able to model a patient and try and project and plan forward what that medical treatment will be without necessarily putting them through kind of the trial and error and the downside of medical interventions.
So as we close today, one piece of advice for clinical teams in 2026.
I think the biggest advice is to lean into AI. One major benefit with AI is that, again, it's democratized technology. From our day-to-day activities, from ChatGPT, right, to the most advanced AI agents, I think trying to lean into what AI can do for you from your basic administrative task and see where you can use those technological tools to alleviate your burdens, because as we talked about, the challenges come in 2026, there will be more demands on time. So, the physicians and clinical teams will have to look for ways to work smartly. And it's not a matter of doing more with less, it's actually doing better with less. And I think AI will help us do that.
I love that. Well, certainly very exciting stuff, Dr. Pickering, and it will be interesting to see what is to come in 2026. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your insight.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you to our audience for tuning in. Be sure to check out the other episodes of our Trends and Predictions mini-series.